Hey guys, you're watching Boondocking with Dennis. It is a gorgeous day in Rockport, Texas. We're on Highway 35 heading south. Now, someone in the comments this morning mentioned if I had ever heard of the Gatorman. And I have heard of the Gatorman, but I didn't know a whole lot about him. So I Googled Gatorman, Rockport, Texas, and about 20 articles came up, even old newspaper clippings and stories. So I read 2 of them, and now I'm an expert. Why didn't I read all 20? Because you can't put 16 ounces of water in an 8-ounce glass. Think about that one. Folks, my brain is a 4-ounce glass. It's only going to hold so much. The Gatorman was Warren Lynch, and Warren Lynch was a character. I'm surprised they actually haven't made a Hollywood story about Warren Lynch. That'd be a movie I would watch. Warren Lynch owned and operated a small gator farm somewhere along the road here. I haven't figured out where yet, so that's why we're driving this part of the highway. Warren Lynch had a tourist attraction with gators. Warren Lynch also liked to grow a little recreational marijuana on his property. Grew it in the swampy area on some of the smaller islands. No one was going to mess with Warren's stash because he had his plants surrounded by alligators. There are many stories about the local sheriff's office coming to lock up Warren, the Gatorman, and Warren would just wade out to an island in the middle of the gators and wait the sheriffs out. There's one report that he stayed on the island for 18 hours surrounded by gators and sheriffs. For some reason, none of the sheriffs were in a big hurry to wade through the water and arrest Warren. 18 hours that standoff was till they left. There's stories about him getting arrested up at an ice house in San Antonio. Another story about him getting arrested here in Rockport on a motorcycle with fake ID and fake German driver's license and 5 pounds of marijuana. So I'm sure Warren was selling a little weed on the side. But the one thing I like about these videos is there's always people that leave comments about things they know or things they heard. Take, for example, yesterday, I did that ICW trailer park in Aransas Pass. Well, several people, 5 or 6 people, mentioned that that road we were driving on was part of an old airfield, and that was actually a small community airport where the trailer park is now, which makes sense because that road was wide, and when you go to a trailer park, you're lucky if you can get 2 cars down the same road, you know? So if you guys know anything about the Gatorman, please let me know. Someone had mentioned, and I'm sorry, I forget who mentioned it, that he died in prison. And I don't know if that's, local legend happening or if that's actually what happened, Because I just reading those 2 stories online, there was conflicting reports, And this landscape along this highway has changed so much. It's all housing developments. Apparently, the Gatorman had his gator farms here in the late 70s and early 80s, 45 years ago, 50 years ago. And it's just all right now housing developments, and even hurricanes will change the shape and course of these backwater areas. I'm sure if you're familiar with the area, Aransas Pass has a lighthouse still intact that is absolutely beautiful, but it's not even on the channel anymore. A hurricane changed the course of the shipping channel. There's some egrets there on the side. Some big uns. Different types. Just crossing the train tracks. No trains over there today, Jamie. I haven't seen trains over there the last few times I've driven by. There's always new things going on. What's going on over there? They're developing on the left too. But yeah, somewhere along this stretch, and of course it would be on the left-hand side where the golf is, and it is real swampy over there. But if anyone knows where the Gatorman's place was, let me know. I'll try to get us a closer look. I mean, I love hearing stories like that. I wish that was a historical marker. I've read some of these historical markers. I'd much rather hear about the Gatorman. Little local outlaw legend. And it did say when they eventually arrested him at the alligator farm, they brought boats and a helicopter. So they probably pulled resources back then. I know the local police here didn't have a helicopter. It's a sunny day, guys. It's still in the 70s at 10 a.m. And we're just coming up on Aransas Pass now. There, we're in Aransas Pass. I had driven this road yesterday with Luciano, and I asked him when was the last time he was out of Rockport, and I think he said 3 years. Could have been longer. And Rockport isn't that big of a town. So that was quite the eventful day. But it was nice, driving with Luciano and him just marveling at new sights. You people that watch my channel have seen more of Rockport than Luciano has. I haven't taken him until yesterday. Probably within a 2-mile radius, the whole time of the beach to get his groceries or whatever he needed to do. So going to the DMV was a big thing for him. Pulling into the Aransas Pass Harbor right now. I'm going to ask some of my older buddies about the Gatorman because they've been around Rockport for a long time. And come to think of it, my buddy Greg said it was kind of by where Cove Harbor is right now. That was the closest landmark he could think of. So I would have to go check it out. And like I said, I know it's not going to be any different. But I wonder, like when he was arrested, what happened to the alligators? Did they just let them go back into the wild? Or, once alligators are fed by hand, can they be released into the wild? Or will they just be going up to people, for the free handouts? I don't know. Cove Harbor, huh? Maybe we should take a ride to Cove Harbor. So weird that those tracks are in use. There's a few crossings where there are no, gates or whistles. So I just look left and right before I cross. I would imagine they're blowing the whistle and everything. But you never know. Did you guys hear about the alligator who became a private detective? Yeah. An investigator. That was horrible. And the goat is still sleeping. I don't have my goat handy, guys. I need to figure out a way to attach the goat to my visor, so it's always there. Well, that means I'd always have to leave it on as well, so scratch that idea. I need to do better. That's my point, guys. I need to do better. October 1st, Dennis. It's a new month. Come on. Let's treat October 1st like it's the beginning of a new year. No big fluffy white clouds, guys. The sky's blue. It's got a slight haze to it. I think we got some cloud cover coming. I did stop at Wally World. Gas, I mentioned it in yesterday's video. Gas went from $2.99 down to $2.83 immediately. And I stopped to get gas just before I started the video and to clean my windshield. And the lines just weren't moving. I love when you pull up to a gas station now and there's a car parked at every pump, but no one's pumping gas. They're all in line to buy lottery tickets. I don't get it. I did want to say good morning to my friend Gary. I saw Gary this morning at Wally World. And Gary gave me some free 7-Eleven kind of, I want to say coupons, but they're like plastic coupons for, one was a free coffee, one was a free Big Gulp, and one was a free Slurpee. So thank you, Gary. It's very kind of you. And good to see you. Sorry, changing hands, guys. Yeah, you can see this area here is kind of swampy in itself, so I could easily see someone having a gator farm. I went to, a backwoods gator farm the first time I ever went to Florida. And I went to two, actually. One was Gatorland in Orlando, and that was set up for tourists. This one was scary. He had a walkway going over a big pond with a 4-foot fence on each side, a chain link fence. And on one side were alligators, and on the other side were crocodiles. And since then, I have seen gators climb chain link fence, on YouTube. So I remember when we were walking up to the pond, we're kind of looking left and right, and there's this big dead tree there. And we're looking at the water for the gators. And then out of the corner of my eye, that big dead tree got in the water real quick. I was like, wow. I don't know how big it was, but it was bigger than, it was a crocodile. And it was a lot bigger than the gators I'm used to seeing. So, I wonder how Hurricane Ian affects all that wildlife. All the crocs and gators and our good old friend the skunk ape. I hope no skunk apes were hurt on Ian's landing. All construction guys on 35. This is Highway 35, not the bypass. So if you have any information, guys, any stories about the Gator Man, leave them in the comments. Warren Lynch. Especially if you know exactly where his farm was. Maybe we can get down one of these little back roads. I mean, they could have built one of these numerous housing developments, right over it now. But yeah, my buddy Greg said he thinks it's down, but it was down by Cove Harbor, which is up here on the right. Thanks for riding along today, guys. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching.